Andrew has fought before, he's got the skills and the technique, but I still believe Chase is just going to blow him out the water. And Mr. Top G is going to be taking the top L.
You have to try. And he's younger than me, he's 20 kilo bigger than me, he's more active than me. I didn't fight a pussy, I fought the
Stop laughing at the top G for 1 second and open your eyes. While the entire world is busy watching memes of Andrew Tate flinching in the ring, Andrew just executed the most cold-blooded financial execution in the history of combat sports. You think he lost to Chase DeMoor? No. Chase won a plastic belt, but Andrew Tate just walked away with $20 million in cash and a rumored $88 million secret profit from the very people who wanted him to fail. Even Joe Rogan is reportedly losing his mind over the leaked terms of the Misfits deal, because it turns out the man who lost the fight is actually the one who OWN'd the company that signed the check. This wasn't a boxing match, it was a billionaire's chess move. While Chase is celebrating his victory, he hasn't realized yet that he was just a paid employee in Tate's multi-million-dollar master plan. Get ready, because this secret tweet just leaked, and it proves that in Andrew Tate's world, losing is the ultimate way to win. The world is laughing because they think they just watched the top G fall. They saw the flinching, they saw the blood, and they saw a 39-year-old man gasping for air against a reality TV star. But while the internet is busy making memes, Joe Rogan is sitting in his studio in total shock. Why? Because Rogan knows the fight game isn't just about what happens inside the ropes, it's about who owns the ropes. And the secret deal that just leaked from the Misfits boxing boardroom proves that Andrew Tate didn't just lose a fight, he executed the most cold-blooded financial execution in the history of sports. While Chase DeMoor was training his jab, Andrew Tate was training his bank account. Sources close to the negotiation have leaked that Andrew didn't just sign a fight contract. He signed a partnership agreement that allegedly gave him a 10% equity stake in Misfits Boxing, a company currently valued at over $520 million. This is the Mind-Gangster logic that Joe Rogan is calling unprecedented. In a traditional world, when you lose, your value drops. But in the Tate world, humiliation is a commodity. Andrew knew that a dominant win would be a one-day story, but a humiliating defeat? That is a global earthquake. That is what breaks the algorithm. That is what drives millions of new eyeballs to his private servers. Every punch Chase landed wasn't just a strike, it was a transaction. Andrew himself confirmed on social media that he walked away with a guaranteed $20 million cash purse just for showing up. But that's nothing compared to the back-end secret leak. By betting on the Matrix to celebrate his downfall, Andrew's total haul, including the surge in his private business subscriptions and his new ownership stake, is estimated to be a staggering $88 million. Joe Rogan is stunned because Andrew Tate has officially turned losing into the most profitable business model on the planet. Chase DeMoor is walking around with a plastic belt that he'll probably lose next month, while Andrew Tate is sitting on a mountain of generational wealth. Chase is currently pagel with rage. Imagine being the man who did all the work, landed all the heavy shots, and won the decision, only to find out you were just a supporting actor in your opponent's get-rich-quick scheme. Chase thought he was the protagonist of his own movie, but he was actually just a hired employee in Andrew's master plan. This is why the Tate brothers are billionaires. They don't see an opponent, they see a catalyst for engagement. Joe Rogan's shock comes from the realization that Tate has manipulated the entire world into paying for his defeat. The leaked documents show a level of genius that borders on insanity. Tate reportedly negotiated a deal where he essentially replaced KSI as a key decision-maker in the Misfits hierarchy. Think about the irony. Chase DeMoor is the champion of a promotion that is now partially owned and managed by the man he just beat. Andrew is essentially Chase DeMoor's boss. He owns the platform, he owns the footage, and he owns the narrative. Chase won the fight, but he lost his freedom. He is now a tool for Andrew's expansion. Inside the locker room, Andrew wasn't checking his pulse. He was checking the metrics. He knew that every time he flinched, the haters would share the clip 10 times more than if he had landed a clean hook. He traded his alpha image for an omega-level payday. Joe Rogan described it as the most Machiavellian move he's ever seen in combat sports. Andrew didn't lose his respect. He sold it for $88 million. And in the world of the Mind-Gangster, money isn't just currency, it's the ultimate scoreboard. Andrew Tate didn't go to the hospital because his eye was hurt. He went there to create the visual of a wounded warrior, while his accountants finalized the wire transfers. He needed a fortress of silence while the money cleared. From that hospital bed, he leaked the truth. He didn't make excuses about his cardio. He bragged about the $20 million in his pocket. He reminded the world that while they were laughing at him, they were actually funding his next private jet. Chase DeMoor is a fighter, but Andrew Tate is the owner of the arena. The moral lesson here is dark but real. If you control the attention, you control the wealth. Joe Rogan realized that Andrew's aura loss was actually a tactical retreat to lure the world into a false sense of security. By appearing vulnerable, Andrew humanized his brand while simultaneously making his enemies feel safe. But a man with $88 million is never safe to be around. Chase DeMoor is celebrating in the clubs, but the high is wearing off. He's starting to see the business reports. He's starting to realize that the top G didn't flinch because he was scared. He flinched because he was calculating. This is the secret deal that has changed everything. This isn't boxing, it's a corporate heist. Andrew Tate didn't fight Chase DeMoor. He audited the boxing industry and found a way to rob it blind. Joe Rogan said it best. You can't beat a man who wins even when he loses. The audit is complete, the check has cleared, and Andrew Tate is still the king of the conversation. Chase has the win, but Tate has the world. Stop thinking about the boxing. Start thinking about the audit. While the internet was busy laughing at Andrew Tate flinching, Joe Rogan was staring at the live metrics, realizing the world just fell for the biggest aura trap in history. The secret deal that just leaked from the Misfits boardroom isn't just about money, it's about ownership. You see, Chase DeMoor thinks he won a fight. He's walking around with a belt, making TikToks and celebrating his victory. But what Chase doesn't know, and what the leaked CEO documents confirm, is that Andrew Tate now owns the very ground Chase stands on. Sources have just confirmed that this secret deal included a hostile takeover clause. In the weeks leading up to the fight, the Tate brothers didn't just sign a contract to fight, they signed a contract to buy. Andrew Tate is reportedly the new secret shareholder and executive director of Misfits Boxing. Read that again. Andrew Tate is Chase DeMoor's boss. Joe Rogan is paralyzed by this realization. Chase fought for a paycheck, but Andrew fought for the company that pays the paycheck. This is why Andrew was smiling in that hospital bed. He wasn't recovering from a loss. He was celebrating a $520 million corporate conquest. The Mind-Gangster logic is simple. If you win the fight, you're just a fighter. But if you lose spectacularly, you become the biggest story on earth. Andrew didn't flinch because he was scared. He flinched because he was selling. Every flinch added $5 million to the value of the Tate brand because it kept the haters engaged. The leaked $10 million bet wasn't a gamble, it was an investment. Andrew allegedly bet against himself at plus 780 odds. Do the math. He made more money hitting the floor than Chase made hitting his face. Joe Rogan said it best. You can't beat a man who is getting rich off your punches. But here is where the suspense turns into a nightmare for Chase DeMoor. In the fine print of the leaked Misfits contract, there is a behavioral and performance clause. Since Andrew is now a key decision maker in the organization, he has the power to freeze Chase's career. Chase is currently pagel with rage because he's realizing that his win was actually his prison sentence. He won the battle, but he signed a 3-year financial slavery agreement. He can't fight anywhere else without Andrew's permission. He can't speak without Andrew's approval. The top G didn't lose his respect. He traded it for Chase DeMoor's future. Joe Rogan pointed out that this is the ultimate glitch in the Matrix. In a world where everyone is obsessed with looking strong, Andrew Tate realized that looking weak is where the real power lies. He humanized himself, grabbed the world's attention, and funneled all that traffic into a rumored $88 million profit. This isn't just a lesson in business, it's a lesson in psychological warfare. The secret tweet from the hospital wasn't a cry for help. It was a victory lap. When Andrew said, "The Matrix thinks it won," he was laughing at you. He was laughing at the people who paid $50 for the PPV to see him lose. He was laughing at Chase, who is currently broke compared to the man he beat. Chase is the champion of a league owned by his enemy. Imagine the humiliation of having to ask the man you punched for your next paycheck. That is the Mind-Gangster way. This isn't just about boxing anymore. This is about the death of traditional sports. Joe Rogan is shocked because if this works, the integrity of the game is gone. Why win for a trophy when you can lose for $1 billion empire? Andrew Tate has proven that aura is a currency, and he just cashed it all in. And for the skeptics who say, "But he looked so bad in the ring," ask yourself this. Would you look bad for 15 minutes if it meant your great-grandchildren never had to work a day in their lives? Andrew Tate didn't go to the hospital because he was injured. He went there because the wounded lion narrative sells more subscriptions than the victorious king. He is a marketing genius playing a 4D game while Chase is playing checkers. The most terrifying part of the leak? The final phase. Rumors say that Andrew's 10% stake is just the beginning. He is reportedly planning to strip the title from Chase for bringing the sport into disrepute and handpick the next champion. Chase is a king with a crown but no kingdom. Andrew is the ghost in the machine. As we move into the final part of this exposure, remember this: a lion doesn't care if the sheep think he's weak. The lion only cares about the harvest. Chase DeMoor got the win, but Andrew Tate got the world. The audit is finished. The money has cleared. And the top G is currently the most profitable loser in the history of the human race. Joe Rogan recently stated that the most dangerous man in the room isn't the one with the biggest muscles, but the one who has nothing left to lose and everything to buy. As the dust settles on the Dubai desert after the most controversial night in Misfits history, the true final settlement of the Tate DeMoor saga is finally starting to leak. And believe me, it is more sinister than anyone imagined. While Chase DeMoor is busy doing victory laps on TikTok and showing off a majority decision win, a secret encrypted message was reportedly sent from Andrew's hospital room to Chase's locker room just minutes after the final bell. That message didn't contain an apology. It didn't contain a request for a rematch. It was a cold, hard business notification. The message reportedly read, "Congratulations on the win, Chase. I've just authorized your payment from the Misfits treasury. Don't spend it all in one place. You're going to need every penny for the legal fees coming your way." This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Mind-Gangster final move. In a leaked audio clip that has been circulating among industry insiders, Tristan Tate can be heard laughing about the fact that Chase DeMoor didn't just win a fight, he won a financial liability. You see, the Misfits contract that Andrew signed when he replaced KSI as CEO was a legal masterpiece. It wasn't just about a $20 million purse or a share of the pay-per-view. It was a legal minefield. Every time Chase mentioned Andrew's name in a disrespectful way during the build-up, every top G joke he made, and every insult during the post-fight press conference was a technical violation of the Executive Brand Protection Clause. Joe Rogan is paralyzed by the sheer brilliance of this move. Andrew Tate is literally suing the man who beat him, using the very company that promoted the fight. Chase DeMoor is currently pagel with frustration behind the scenes because he's realizing that his win was actually a setup. He fought for the belt, but Andrew fought for the ownership of Chase's future earnings. But let's talk about the hospital. Why the drama? Why the oxygen mask? Why the sudden medical emergency for a man who claimed to be a superhuman? Sources close to the Tate camp suggest that the hospital visit was a strategic blackout. By being legally incapacitated in a medical facility, Andrew was shielded from immediate media obligations and regulatory questions regarding the Misfits CEO transition. It gave his legal and financial team 48 hours of pure, uninterrupted silence to move the rumored $88 million profit through offshore accounts before the Matrix could even flag the transactions. Joe Rogan pointed out that while the world was obsessing over the cut on Andrew's eye, Andrew was obsessing over the ledger. He needed to be in that hospital bed so the world would stop asking questions about the money and start asking questions about his health. It was the ultimate redirection. The moral lesson here is dark, heavy, and 100% real. In the 21st century, attention is the only currency that matters. Andrew Tate realized years ago that the public's memory is short, but their emotions are volatile. By losing to Chase DeMoor, he did something that a win could never achieve. He humanized the Top G brand while simultaneously making his enemies feel safe. But as any predator will tell you, the most dangerous time is when your opponent thinks you're wounded. Andrew didn't lose his aura, he traded a temporary image for permanent financial dominance. While Chase is out there calling out Tommy Fury and trying to keep his name in the headlines, he's starting to realize the cold truth. The secret deal has effectively turned Chase into a gatekeeper for the Tate empire. He is no longer an independent champion, he is a marketing tool. Every time Chase fights from now on, a percentage of his purse goes back to the organization that Andrew Tate now reportedly controls. Chase is the champion, but he's also a salary employee. Joe Rogan's final take on this was chilling. We were looking at the referee's hands, but we should have been looking at the boardroom table. Andrew Tate didn't lose a boxing match. He conducted a public audit of the boxing industry and found a way to rob it blind. As we conclude this investigation, remember this: the world is a stage, and most people are just audience members paying for the tickets. Andrew Tate didn't go to Dubai to fight, he went to Dubai to collect. He walked into the ring as a controversial influencer and walked out as the Shadow King of combat sports. He traded 15 minutes of flinching for a 50-year legacy of wealth. Chase DeMoor has the belt, but Andrew Tate has the keys to the building, the deed to the land, and the very contract that Chase signed in blood. The audit is finished. The $88 million check has cleared. And the Top G is currently sitting in a private villa, watching the world argue over his defeat while he calculates his next move, Phase 4, the T8 KO League. A league where Andrew Tate makes the rules, owns the fighters, and controls the truth. Chase DeMoor didn't win anything, he just became the first casualty of the New World Order. The question isn't whether Andrew will fight again. The question is, who is brave enough to step into a ring where the owner is the one getting hit? The Matrix just got outplayed, and the world is still trying to figure out how they got robbed in broad daylight. The king never fell. He just sold the crown to buy the entire kingdom. Chase DeMoor is celebrating a victory that's about to cost him his career. Andrew Tate is currently $88 million richer and in full control of the Misfits boardroom. Was this the greatest business move in history or the biggest fraud ever committed in a boxing ring? Comment mastermind if you see the trap. Comment fraud if you think the Top G is finished. And if you want to be the first to see the leaked documents from Phase 4, you better hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The truth is coming, and it's louder than ever. We'll see you in the next breakdown.